Hi, this is Dick Peller, and this will be the first of the videos that are being created for BC Calculus. Each one will be linked to an assignment and will be indicated by that assignment number and the sections that it covers. So let's get to work. This will basically be a review of big ideas from pre-calculus, and when we get into the calculus sections, there'll be a lot more explanation. This is simply an overview. So here's an example. Suppose we want to get an equation of a line between the points 3 minus 2 and 5, 1. This goes back to Algebra 1, and we know how to do this. We get the slope, and the slope is equal to 3 over 2. And what's important for students in calculus to make use of is point-slope form. We don't want to try to put this into y equals mx plus b form. So the easiest way to write this would be to write the equation as y minus 1 is equal to 3 over 2 times x minus 5, and we stop there. Don't need to simplify it. That answer is perfect. We did a lot of work with functions throughout pre-calculus, and some of the things that you need to know about functions are the basic ones, basic graphs. And the functions for which you must know how to sketch their graphs include the functions like y equals x, x squared, x cubed, 1 over x, 1 over x squared, e to the x, or any exponential function, ln of x. We also need to know what all the trig functions look like: sine of x, cosine of x, tan of x. We need to know the inverse trig functions, like arc sine of x, what that graph looks like, and especially in terms of sine and cosine and the inverse trig functions, we pay specific attention to the domain and range. We also need to know functions like y is equal to the absolute value of x and square root of x. They pop up a lot. You need to know all about graphing transformations. For example, if you're asked to graph something like this, you need to have enough background to be able to sketch a reasonable graph and be able to answer questions. Similarly, a function like this, you need to be able to graph that, know how it moves, know what the key points are, know what the domain and range are, and in particular, for a function like this, in addition to the domain and range, you need to have the skills that will enable you to find the x and y intercepts. As soon as you hear x-intercept, your reaction is set y equal to 0 and solve for x. Trying to find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0 and solve for y. Moving along, some of the other ideas that you need to be familiar with are even and odd functions. An even function satisfies the condition that f of minus x is equal to f of x. An odd function, f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. An even function has symmetry over the y-axis. An odd function has symmetry over the origin. And understanding and being able to look at graphs and determine whether they're even or odd is important, or being able to just go and use the definition. The definition of the derivatives is important to be able to do. You need to know rules of exponents and logs. For example, you need to know what b to the x times b to the y is equal to. You need to know what b to the x over b to the y is equal to, and you need to know what b to the x raised to the p is equal to. Also, you need to know the similar rules about logs. You need to know that the log of m times n, what that's equal to, the log of m over n, and finally the log of m to the p. So those should all be information that you know, or you can look up in the book. But this represents a quick overview of the ideas that you need to know from the first 3 sections of Chapter 1, and each of those sections represents a piece of review from pre-calculus. And that's it for today.